Hopefully we don't say.
Hola, you amazing artist. We are back.
Hi, everybody. Yes, we are back in the studio.
Ellen said, welcome home. Hi, Ellen.
Hi, Ellen. Hi, Susan. Yay, I made it. Hi, you too. Hi, Charity.
Hi, Charity.
We're so happy to be back and to be able to chat with you guys. We had an epic adventure. So amazing. So crazy.
Yes, we did.
Andy Cat. Hey, y'all.
Hi. We spent 5 days with some very, very creative people.
Rob McCullough. Hey, guys. Hi,
Hey,
Rob. Hi, Ember. Hi, Anna. We spent 5 days with our family and friends and so many people.
Tater Flaps asked us if he could go with us next time. He doesn't mind riding with Dad.
Yeah, you say that now. Actually, your dad is wonderful to road trip with. He's hilarious.
Yep.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Wow. Thank you for all the hellos and the welcome homes. Bob says, hello, you two. This is my first time here. Welcome.
Welcome, Bob.
We're just returning from our epic adventures, and we actually, full disclosure, we totally forgot till this morning that we were live streaming tonight.
Yep.
But here we are.
That's only because we forgot that it was Wednesday.
Yes.
We forgot it was Wednesday, and I was looking at the calendar, and I was like, holy crap, today's Wednesday. We have a live stream.
Yeah,
so.
I actually thought it was Tuesday all day.
How was the drive? The drive was actually pretty pleasant.
Yeah.
It's always a long drive, so...
Yeah, 14 hours. It's 950 miles one way. So there's a lot of coffee and bathroom breaks and refueling, but good. We actually didn't even play any music on the radio. We just spent the time catching up with his dad, which was really very cool. We talked about all kinds of stuff.
We did. There's a lot of entertaining stories that come from Dad.
Oh, man.
He's definitely a character,
Yeah.
so we didn't really need music on the road.
He was very entertaining. Just when you think you've heard all the dad stories, he hits you with new stories.
Andrea
awesome.
said, hi, glad you're back safe and sound.
Thank
yes,
you.
So are we.
Hi, everyone. Trinidad in the house. Missed you guys. Rafi and Clee. Hello in Trinidad.
Hi, you guys. Man, there's people here from everywhere.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, so we had our epic wedding adventure, which was really more like a rock concert with vows.
So if you didn't see my vlog, my brother is a full-time musician, and my sister-in-law, they've been together for about 15 years, and they finally tied the knot. And
Finally.
She is also a musician and a graphic designer and an artist. So given that group of friends and, Clee's friends and some of my old friends,
old bandmates,
there was a lot of creative people there in just about every creative field, from artists to musicians to inventors to
producers and writers and designers and authors and
so
it was amazing.
It was pretty amazing. Texas Mud, no music. Stories must have been... Yes, they are. They are very, very good stories that come from Dad. Entertaining.
Dad could have his own YouTube channel.
Yes, he can.
Where he just tells stories about his life.
I've often thought to myself that the way that I would make millions of dollars on YouTube is if I could find somebody to just follow my dad around with a camera.
Oh, my gosh.
Because that's all you have to do. Just follow him with a camera, and that would be the most entertaining thing to watch.
Yeah, you listen to his stories, and I'm like, that's not real. That's a movie script.
Hi from North Dakota.
And hi from Georgia.
Hi, you guys.
Hi, everybody. Oh, my goodness. Yes, I caught you live. One thing is with the ticker tape, if we miss your question, because we can't scroll the ticker tape without getting all discombobulated, if we miss your question, please feel free to retype your question. And if we miss your question and the live stream ends, we're actually going to be doing a Q&A where we pull some of your questions from the chat box and answer them in a video.
Yeah, because during the last live stream, when I went back and checked, I noticed that we missed a lot of questions, and I'd like to get to your questions if you guys are here. So if we can, we'll do another Q&A video.
Texas Mud said, did you bring back a pic of you and your tux? Yes.
Yes.
We got tons of pictures of Rafi and his tux, and I have to say, He's such a handsome man. I mean, he doesn't need a tux, but he looked so dapper.
There is a video that was supposed to go up today before the live stream. I just didn't make it in time. It was actually still rendering when it was time to do the live stream, but I will actually be posting that up right afterwards. It's a very random video that talks about how inspired we were after the wedding, but it also has a lot of pictures and stuff of us and different things at the wedding. The wedding is, you know, for a creative person, it was a very amazing event because, like I said, my brother and my sister-in-law are musicians, so they were the headliners at this event. So if you went to the wedding, you got to see four complete bands, very amazing bands perform live, and both of them were my brother and his bride, my sister.
Yeah, and it was all so impromptu. So Orchestra 33 is Richard's corporate band that he plays with, and they play really exclusive events. So that was the first time we ever got to see them live. My band had not been together in the same room for about 13 years.
Yeah.
So it was totally impromptu that we played 2 songs.
Yeah. Is there a video of y'all busting some moves? Actually, there is. It's on our vlog channel.
Yes.
On our super secret vlog channel.
On the Adventures of Rafi and Klee, we bust some moves for sure.
Yeah, I think there's some shots of me and some shots of you busting moves. You're dancing with your mom.
I'm dancing with my mom. Yeah, my mom can get down, dude. And so can you.
All right, packing to move in the PAC. What's that mean? Pacific Northwest. Hey guys, much love to you.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. Did you wear the bandana with the tux? I did not. I have a pork pie hat.
It's very, very attractive looking.
When I don't wear the bandana, I have this really cool pork pie hat that I wear. And yeah, you guys will see that in the video. The next video that I post will have
all the footage.
We'll have both of us in our outfits. I think I actually looked amazing. I know that I complained about wearing the tux, but I looked quite amazing.
And I have to say, Amber and Rich did good by us as far as what we had to wear to their wedding. They did a good job. Constantino says, hey from Greece.
Hello.
Hey, thank you for joining us again. You guys look very fresh and perky after your long road trip. Yeah, several coffees and a mud mask later. And I've been rocking pajamas for a couple days, and that's not going to stop anytime soon. So welcome to Jammy Time on the live stream.
A pork pie hat. What is a pork pie hat? A pork pie hat is the flatter top one. Who used to wear a pork pie hat?
Chicago Gangsters.
Chicago Gangsters, but what was Ralph Cramden's friend?
Oh.
Whoever Ralph Cramden's friend was, I cannot remember his name right now. He wore a pork pie hat.
We have a question. How do you make the jump between posting art on Instagram and professionally selling it?
The jump. There wasn't really a jump for me. I like I've said before, I didn't start online. I started in-person selling. So Instagram was just a place where people that bought my art could find me. And then eventually it started to turn around. I started to get more followers on Instagram. So there wasn't really the jump between selling it there. I still only use Instagram to just kind of promote my life and promote what I'm doing.
Norton was the friend.
Yes. Norton, yeah.
Did Rafi take a mud facial too? No. I've tried to do a mud mask on Rafi like a bunch of times, and once a year he lets me, but it gets like stuck in his beard and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
It does get
he
stuck
likes
in my beard.
it. No joke.
I do like it. I just don't have. I don't have. Well, when we got back, there is so many things going. You guys know that I launched my book, right? So I launched my book before we went on the strip because I was like, didn't want to be. There was that insecure part of me that didn't want to be disappointed and think that nobody's going to buy my book and I don't want to be sad, so I don't want to look at it. So I launched the book, and lo and behold, it's done amazing. On there, it's like funded 67% already,
we
and
were
I'm
like
blown
what?
away. Thank you guys, I am blown away.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So, but we got back, and there's like all this catch-up work because we really weren't prepared for being gone for 5 days. So there was no time for a mud mask for Rafi.
We have a question.
Go for it.
I want to greet everyone, do things at flea markets. I don't want to seem desperate, but I want to greet everyone. What's the happy medium?
Just say hi.
I say hello, and I let them know I'm here if you need me, and that's that.
And that's it.
Yeah, then I let them do the questions.
Don't hover. That is the only thing. Don't hover.
Yeah.
Listen, some people are going to get offended anyway. Even if you say hi, they're going to say, like, well, I'm just here to look at stuff. Don't worry about those people. Those people are on guard because they're used to people jumping on them.
Yeah.
Just say hi to people if you're friendly. Just interact with them.
Yeah, and unless someone needs direct help with an item, I hang towards the back of my space, out of their personal space bubble.
G. Francis said, book, yeah, well done. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Applause for Rafi, you guys. He was so scared, and this is so brave. And he's still scared and so brave.
K asks, have you ever taken any illustration work? I have very little illustration work. Honestly, most of the illustrations that I've done for myself. But I'd be willing to take illustration work. Just depends, just like any other commission, it depends on what it is.
Alex said, would you do collabs with smaller YouTube art channels?
Probably. That would be cool.
Yeah. Message us.
It depends on what it is. I don't care about the size of the YouTube channel, just what the collaboration would be.
Constantino said, recently I had my work reviewed by professional artists, and almost disgusted, they told me my art is totally decorative, which is the biggest sin in the art world. I got very disappointed. What does that even mean?
Okay, listen. Some of the most popular art out there that people talk and say that is serious art is actually decorative art. Decorative art just means that it is a piece that you could put up in a room that matches the colors. But the fact is that every single work of art could either be decorative or it could be expression. It could be an expression of self.
My art's totally decorative. It's meant to decorate the body.
Yeah, and honestly, when you look at the entire purpose of art, the difference between decorative and something else is just some kind of excuse that people use to put other people's work down. So don't get discouraged, because don't listen to people that have that kind of crap to say about your art.
We have explain the stapling wire at back of canvas panel.
Okay, industrial stapler. You put the wire in, you staple it, and then you hammer it into the canvas.
You bend the wire and then restaple, so it's like bam, staple, bend, staple, so there's leverage happening there. Yeah. Industrial staples.
Industrial stapler. Do not use a regular stapler because it will not work.
Cute Fish says, when you take time off, does it affect your business? Yeah, it does, but we try to do as much prep work as possible so that we can manage, and we also take a laptop with us so that we can notify people of what's going on and keep up with everything.
We also let people know that we'll be out of town, so their orders will be a little bit late if they're ordering online. It will affect my business in the fact of, like with Patreon and with YouTube. Usually I try to post a video by Tuesday. I have not posted a video yet. I just finished it. So there's things like that, and I view YouTube and having this connection with you guys as not necessarily part of my business, but part of what I do artistically. So it does have an effect on that because it does cut into my time. But I try to prepare ahead of time.
Yeah. Justin Bennett asked, you guys kicked Etsy entirely? No, we didn't kick Etsy entirely. We're migrating slowly. What we did was we moved our personal e-commerce shop off of Etsy Pattern, and we built our own e-commerce shop.
Yes.
And we're using Etsy to promote our e-commerce shop as well as other
and I got rid of all the Clee hasn't, but I got rid of all the originals on Etsy, so everything on Etsy is just made to order, and I'm just going to keep that on there until there is no traffic left on Etsy. I want to be able to contact my customers that know me from Etsy. So when they order something, I'll be able to let them know, like, hey, just FYI, I have a new website. In the future, you may not be able to find me on Etsy.
Yeah, it'll be a slow total migration.
Yeah.
Luis said, how do you clean older acrylic paintings?
Older acrylic paintings, acrylic it's a polymer, so you should be able to just wipe it down with a damp cloth.
Bren K said, by industrial stapler, do you mean heavy duty stapler like you can get at Walmart?
Yeah.
Are you gonna
Here,
grab yours?
I'll grab it.
Rafi's got a couple of staplers, and most of them that he uses are like the assist staplers, where you just pull the trigger and it like. We got ours from the Home Depot.
Yeah, I get them. I get them from Home Depot. So there's like this one here, and then this is the I'm trying to put it in frame. This is like the standard, the ones that you'll see, right? So these are the kind that you have to get the Arrow brand staplers. This is actually an Arrow brand stapler, so you got to get the Arrow brand staples.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean when I say industrial stapler.
Charity asks, when you stretch your own canvas, do you use pre-made stretcher bars or do you make your own stretcher bars?
I make my own. There are times where I will buy pre-made stretcher bars depending on the cost of the commission. A lot of my bigger pieces, the stretcher bars are way too expensive. It's easier for me to just buy some wood and cut it. So.
Rob McCullough asked, is there a website that you would recommend to help find festivals? Man, there was a website that we used to check back in the day, but really we've mostly just talked to other artists who have traveled.
Word of mouth, Rob, is the best way to find out. If you go to any of the festivals that are local, chances are some of those artists travel to other festivals. And
a lot of my customers out at the market who are from out of state, because we get a lot of out of staters, will tell me about festivals in their states that are good, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, because I get emails from like festivals.org and festivals.net, but honestly, I've never really gone to those to actually apply for something, because you never know from looking at it online. I'd rather talk to somebody who was there.
Yeah, and I didn't catch the name, but someone asked, how do you stay out of a creative depression? And actually, that's a big topic that we cover in the video that's about to go up, is to constantly stay inspired and how to do that.
How to stay inspired by the stuff of life.
All the stuff, all the little stuff. Yeah.
When I tried it, the staples showed on the other side. Oh, okay. So the staples showed on the other side. In that case, you got to get something solid, depending on the painting. So whenever I do that where it's a small piece, I will make sure that there is no painting in the front before, so I can hammer the staples. So
then cover it.
And then cover it. If you can't do that, find shorter staples. They do have different size staples.
And we've got a couple questions for me. Dang Cute Fish asked if I make jewelry based on my own aesthetic or if I follow trends. And 99% is my aesthetic. It's what I like. It's what I would want to wear. And maybe 1% is influenced by what people are wanting. And someone else asked how long I've been creating jewelry.
Yep.
About 10 years.
Andy Cat.
Andy Cat. Yeah, I've been at it for about 10 years now. 10 years of jewelry making. And I'm constantly learning stuff. Constantly.
Rafi, do you pay Clee for modeling for you? Clee, do you pay Rafi for any of his assistants? I do not pay Clee for modeling for me.
I'm happy to do so. And on occasion...
But I also model for Clee's jewelry.
Yeah, it's true. We're kind of a bartering system there. Once in a while, I force some cash monies on Rafi when he has to do something that's really time-consuming for me.
Yeah,
but
and I do the same thing. If there's something that's really going to take her away from something, then I will definitely... Yeah.
But mostly we just know that we help each other out and it balances out in the end.
Yep.
I applaud you guys for how you handled Etsy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Robin.
Yes, Clee. Speaking of trends, did you make a llama jewelry thing? I have not made any llama jewelry things, but I know llamas are very popular. And also they're adorable. I enjoy looking at llama art and memorabilia.
Mama Duck gave Rob really good advice, a place to go on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Mama Duck, for answering his question.
Yeah. And G. Francis said, thanks for the answer. Totally understand now. Thanks, Rafi and Clee. Love you guys.
We love you.
Next question. How do you know that what you create is moving in the right direction?
I honestly don't usually know until it's done.
Yeah.
When I'm working on something, it's just kind of going in whatever direction it's going. What I find is that when I try to force something, when I'm trying to make it into something that maybe it doesn't want to go that direction, usually it's almost like it never reaches the finish line.
Yeah, for me, things look like a big pile of crap until they're done.
Pretty much, because you never know. Like, while you're creating it, it's like, oh, it looks like crap. Let me put the next layer. Oh, it still looks like crap. Oh, it looks like crap. And it's not until the very finishing stages that it starts to look like something.
Kid Rockin' Forever said, "What are you sipping on there, Mr. Rafi?" We are having some lovely bourbon.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mm-hmm. Any quick tips for artists just starting out on YouTube?
It takes time. That's my tip to you is be very patient and make sure that you have a lot of fun. Create things because you enjoy them and you want to have fun doing them, and then little by little your audience will start to grow. Try not to create things because you want people to follow you.
Try not to follow the trends, be on your own aesthetic, and it doesn't hurt to have a peanut gallery.
Yeah, I guess.
How many pieces do you recommend I have before presenting art at coffee shops?
I recommend, I guess a minimum of at least 3. It depends on the coffee shop. There are some coffee shops here in town that only have room for about 3 or 4 pieces.
Yeah.
And then there are some that have room for 20 pieces. So just play by ear. And that's a good question to ask them. Like, well, how many pieces of work would you like me to bring in? And then you could give them a timeline of when it is that you could bring those pieces in. I always tell people, don't wait, just do it and go from there.
And work with them and let them know, like, you might need some time based on their needs to get it prepared.
There is nothing more inspiring to have you create work than having a deadline, because you know that in 3 weeks you're going to be bringing in 5 pieces into a coffee shop.
Yeah, dudes, let's be real here. We're artists. So, like, giving yourself a deadline is actually a really good idea.
Yeah.
I want to do YouTube.
Lucy, yay, yellow juice. Yes, it's yellow juice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said in the last one.
Delicious yellow juice. Rafi inspired me to be a full-time artist. It's the most stressful, stomach-wrenching thing I've ever done. I love it.
Yes, awesome.
Isn't it, though? It's horrible and wonderful.
You are so awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely no security. The thing is, and I'm going to get all philosophical on you here, is that if you're working for someone else, if you're working in corporate or whatever, there still really isn't any security, because you could get fired or it could close down at any time. But there is the illusion of security. The trick is giving yourself the illusion of security, even though you're the one that looks at your bank statements and knows how much money is coming in.
Okay, so Justin asks, what do you do with art that doesn't sell?
I keep it.
Yeah.
Because that stuff is going to go up in value.
We keep it, and if it's something that eventually we're like, man, then we might rework it or something.
Yeah. If there's something that hasn't sold and I'm not really happy with it and it's just sitting there, then I might rework it a little bit.
And how many pieces do you have at this point?
At this point, at home, I have about 98 pieces, and out around town, I have about 125 pieces, not counting all the paper pieces. I probably have like another 100 paper pieces.
And I have no earthly idea how many jewelry pieces I have, to be honest. Do you fear creating too many things that don't sell?
Not at all.
Nah.
Not at all. Everything will sell. Basically, the way I look at it is the moment that I create something, I think about that price, and in my brain, that's money in the bank. Because whether it sells today, tomorrow, or in the next 5 years, eventually it's going to sell. The right person is going to see it.
James Gaskin said, "Hola, badasses, welcome home."
Hola,
Thank
James
you.
Gaskins.
Mwah.
Thank you. There was a question up here.
I am super introverted. Is the only way to make it as an artist through YouTube and things of that sort, or can I still make it work without all of that?
Absolutely. I did not create my art career on YouTube or social media. I created my artwork face to face, and the reason I always recommend that is because I was introverted. I still am introverted, but you start to, as long as you face those fears, you start to become a badass at them. And so just see it as a fun challenge, like, okay, well, how can I do this? And putting yourself out there. But yeah, YouTube and social media were not where I started.
The artist in me said, just finished my first art commission and only now realize I should have given myself a little more time than I had thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
now,
that's how you learn, you know?
Yeah, but also remember, there are times where I've called or text the customer and let them know that it's going to take an additional 5 days.
And people usually don't scoff at that.
They do not, because we're artists, and they want something that is created well, that is not rushed.
Yeah, do you want your art in a hurry? Or do you want it to be
That's what I would
finished?
ask them. Like, okay, well, if you really need it now, do you want it in a hurry, or do you want me to create something that is not rushed?
Kid Rockin' Forever said, are you all selling at flea markets or art shows? I'm still doing our farmer's market. Rafi is not. We are not doing any shows right now. We are focused online.
Yeah.
So the farmer's market here is really all we're doing as far as in-person events right now. And he's got some solo exhibitions scheduled.
Yeah,
for the
I
year.
mostly have like solo exhibitions, but I've kind of backed off from the markets because it's too hot. It's too hot. I'm gonna be whiny. It's too hot. Do you frame your paper pieces? I do not actually, but I will. There are some paper pieces that I framed, like for example, if they're going to be up at a gallery or if they're going to be up at a restaurant, I will pre-frame them. But if not, I just put them in cellophane.
In a portfolio.
Yeah.
Be happy now. What is the main reason you create? I create because I cannot not. I would go crazy if I could not do what I do.
Whenever I go a week without creating, that's why, like, you guys know that I do like the YouTube, we do the podcast, I've got the Patreon page, I am now working on a book. I've got a lot of projects going on, but if I'm not in the studio most of the time creating something, I will feel like something is missing.
Yeah, if you want to see sad Rafi and Klee, put us somewhere where we just have to like do nothing all the time. We'll still talk to each other and have a good time, but we cannot not be doing these things.
We got to be creating something.
Yeah.
I've even sold at yard sales, so it's yes. I mean,
did too.
That's my thing. Like out of the box, we would call it a yard sale.
Yard sale, yeah, yard and art sale.
Yeah, yard and art sale. Come out to the yard and art sale at our studio.
Rob said it's too hot for me too. I do shows in spring and fall and winter.
Yeah, I wish spring and fall and winter were longer here, but they're not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, summer is like 9 months long here.
I'm new to your channel. Where do you go to see your paintings and jewelry? Oh, it's rafiandklee.com.
rafiandklee.com.
Yep. That's where you can find us, and that has links to like all the things, everything.
Advice for artists who undercut themselves, underbid an art piece just for hopes of making themselves. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Do it.
Get your pricing structure set so you don't accidentally blurt out something you're going to regret when you're trying to sell.
And get your pricing structure set in a way where you don't feel guilty, which means it's fair to the person who's buying it and it's fair to you. Don't go off of those prices that you see online or like people there, oh, I've got this painting for $4,000 and it's a little tiny thing like this. Like, especially when you're first starting, remember that you have to organically grow your prices. So be fair to yourself, but also be fair to the person that's going to collect your work, because chances are that person is going to be a lifelong collector.
Yeah, I set out a pricing structure that I try to stick to, not rigidly, but I try to stick to it. It's a formula that I use.
What is your least favorite aspect of the art world? Least favorite aspect of the art world? To be honest with you, it's the hoity-toityness. It's people taking themselves really, really seriously when, in fact, all we do is create things.
Yeah, and to that point, I think my least favorite aspect, which goes hand in hand, is the real art versus the not real art debate.
All the judgment, all the criticism. I just don't buy into that stuff. I think that when people are very critical of other people's art, basically what they're doing is filling in, trying to make themselves feel secure when in actuality they feel insecure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mama Duck, surprised you're introverted. You can give advice on YouTube the way you just helped me.
Aw.
That's nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was a very, very quiet, shy kid. I was that kid that was invisible. You know, that parents would be like, "Oh, he's so good.
It's like he's not
even there." Yeah.
How is that a compliment?
I used to be that kid, so it took me a while to get to this place where I could openly talk to people and just be honest about who I am.
Be Happy Now said, when I'm inspired, I love my art more. Yeah, me too. Some of my favorite pieces came out of like just totally having fun and creating for the love of creating.
Hi, Crone Me.
Hi,
it's all right. It's all right that you're late.
You still have time for the live chat.
Yeah, I feel the same way about that.
When you're just like letting loose with your materials and just having a did you just kill a fruit fly?
I did. There's a
Sorry if there was a jostle there.
Yeah, I actually find that when I create stuff and I'm not in a good place, I will stop working on something because I know that later, first of all, I'm not feeling as inspired as I would be if I was in a really good place. And I also know that later on, when I am in a good place, I'm going to look at that piece and not like it because my emotions always seem to shine through in every piece that I work on.
Ellen asked, any advice on training your goggle? Yours always seems so well behaved. Mine is always rolling all over the house, stealing stuff, throwing pillows off the couch. Go is totally out of control. Oh my gosh. If you guys
They sometimes do that in the beginning.
yeah, once they get familiar and comfortable with you, they'll probably settle in. If you guys don't know what a goggles are, they are these little wondrous creature sculptures that Rafi has created, and they stare at you with looks of amazement and wonder.
They're agog for you. They are your biggest fan, your biggest cheerleader, and they're also quite mischievous.
They are. Yeah, give it time. They'll settle in.
How do you handle it when someone tries to make deals on your work at an art show? It depends on the deal.
Yeah.
Some people, that's just how they roll. The most important thing with that is to not take it personally, to just understand that they're just getting a good price. So a lot of those people, I'll just smile. It depends. If it's like 10% off or something small like that, and I'm willing to go there, then I'll be like, all right, you know what, I could do that. But if it's like a ridiculous amount, I'll just smile at them and be like, no, that's not going to happen. Or if I'm getting a bad vibe from them, then it's like, no.
I usually
no
say,
thanks.
Yeah, I like to say, I'm sorry, but for that particular piece, I just really can't do that. I try to price my stuff fairly.
I like to say, good try, but
nice
no.
Try. Nice try.
Would it be good investment in having a website, personal portfolio, and work and such? Cost can always be a struggle for a starving artist. Yeah, I mean, I would look and see if you could find some of those websites that are cheaper, but even still, if you have a Facebook page, as long as you have some kind of web presence where you could send somebody so that they could see your work, that's really what matters most.
Instagram, even the Square Market, which is free. They don't charge you anything to set it up.
Yeah.
And then they just take their percentage.
But yeah, take a look at options like that are less money. Instagram is a great place to have a showing of your work, displaying your work.
I'm a watercolorist, but tonight I'm designing and building custom storage for my supplies. Got to build something every day.
Yeah.
You're speaking his language.
Yes, you are.
He's constantly building and reinventing the studio.
I am.
Warping time and space. I have to still remind myself that my art is art however I make it, and that it doesn't have to conform to any one way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hubby reminds me that if it doesn't sell right away, I'm just building my portfolio anyway. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And guys, remember, art is like wine. I have older pieces that I sold for, I have the oldest piece that I have, I think, is about 4 years old. And the price that was set when I first created it was $100 less than it is now because my art has appreciated over the years. So when my art appreciates, so does that art. So that's the way that I look at it. It's like, all right, well, the older the piece is, the more value it's gone up in because my prices are going up.
Who is an artist you admire, past or present? Rafi, one of mine is Caravaggio, Cleve, Renee Lalique, or Miriam Haskell. Who is an artist you admire?
Oh, I love Caravaggio. I love Picasso. I love Monet.
Vermeer.
I mean, there are different reasons why I love artists, but I also make it a point not to put any artist on a pedestal. Like, I know that Picasso was a human being. I know that Vermeer and everyone else they're human beings, and what interests me the most about them is how they lived their life and made an impact in order to be able to learn from them. Either what not to do or what to do.
Yeah, so many good stories.
David McCauley said, love you guys. We love you, David.
We love you too. A jewelry artist that's alive today that inspires me is Alex Sepkus. His pieces are very surrealist, dreamlike. I really enjoy his color palettes and stuff.
Rafi, have you seen the acrylic pouring, and what is your thoughts on this art form?
Oh, good question.
I think that it's super interesting. I find it very, very interesting. I would love to see people do more with it, as far as like maybe doing the pourings and then using the pourings to create something from those abstract images. I love that. But the pourings themselves I find very, very beautiful. There's something aesthetically pleasing. I've seen some that I'm not so attracted to, but then I've seen some that I really absolutely love. So it all depends on how it's being used. I love all techniques and forms of creating. It depends on how it's being created, whether or not it's being rushed and it's lazy, or if they're really pouring something into it.
Yeah, like really giving some creative energy to it. When people ask me why I don't have a web page of my own, I say probably because I don't charge enough. Crickets.
Yep.
I'm ready for my art to appreciate one day.
Yes. Your art is appreciating right now.
Joe Pearson said, I just sold a 20-year-old piece I took out of storage this weekend at a show for $1,200.
I know. Yeah, congratulations.
That's
I know.
awesome.
That's why like a lot of people are like, oh, well, what if my art doesn't sell? Listen, the art may not sell. There are pieces that I have that are older that I'll take out to a show or somewhere, and people will ask, even though they've seen it, it's posted everywhere, they will look at it and be like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Is that new? And 4 years ago, no one paid attention to it. So don't get discouraged because your art isn't selling right away. It will sell.
Yes.
It's money in the bank. It's just in artwork form.
Rob McCullough said, my favorite Picasso quote is, the world doesn't make sense, so why should I paint pictures that do?
Yes,
I love that.
I love that quote too.
And Naisha and Wendy said, can you spell Alex's name and where can I find Alex Sepkus, Sepkus, Alex Sepkus. Yeah,
Yep.
His jewelry is amazing.
What mixed mediums do you use? All of them.
Yeah, pretty much everything.
All of them. Anything that I could get my hands on. I like experimenting, and a lot of times I'll mix different mediums just to see what they do. I may add flame to it. I like experimenting to see what I could create. I'm very much inspired by the artists that used rubber and those kind of materials before, when they first came out in their works.
Tater Flap said, could you guys stay on for about 3 more rounds of bourbon? Clee's starting to sway. I can't sit still regardless of the situation. I'm always kind of shifting around.
Trust me, it's not the bourbon.
It's just who I am as a person.
Which technique is your favorite? Honestly, I've got a lot of favorite techniques. Just whatever is relevant to the piece that I'm creating. But I would have to say that the drip technique, the drip texture, is my favorite. I love pushing the limits of that because every time I do a drip technique, I am holding my breath because I've just worked on a piece. It is beautiful, and now I'm about to drip on texture, and I could easily have a misstep there and ruin it. And there's something about that that's really exciting for me.
Have you guys ever thought about getting into other art subjects? Like Clee, I know you do music, but do you have other interests to branch into? I'm all over the map and it's hard to focus. I've dabbled in a lot of things, but man, I keep myself busy with jewelry and with music, so right now I am zeroed in on those two things.
But even still, we did the art sculpture.
Art
I did sculptures that had animatronics. Clee created an entire firefly room. So I mean, as long as it is something that interests you, we work on music. I work on videos. We do these YouTube videos. We write. We do quite a bit of things because you got to remember, like your brain, you may get a little bit tired of working on art if that is all you are doing.
And it is healthy.
Day after day. So just switching up the creative projects, but being a little bit organized about that.
Yeah, like for example, I found that I hate to knit, so that wasn't something I was going to invest massive time in.
I didn't need to invest anything into that. I hate
find
knitting.
out that you hate to knit.
Yes.
My favorite technique, I have 3. I like fine wire weaving. I love to wield a hammer, and I like fire.
Yep.
Those are my three. Oh, I was so involved in painting fall pumpkins, I forgot this was starting, but y'all are still here.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. We get it. We get it. We almost forgot. So, that's better. We forgot that it was Wednesday.
Yeah. Lucky for us, we have planners.
Thanks, guys. Wasn't doing me
Any good in the closet. Found out thought it had a lot of mistakes, but put it out anyway, and lo and behold, someone flipped for it.
Man, there are so many pieces that I take out. I'll take out a piece and I'm like, everybody's going to just stop and look at this. And then I have the piece, like the little ugly cousin that comes out that I still kind of love because I created it, but I'll put it out and everybody will look at that piece and be like, that is amazing. It always surprises me what people are attracted to at shows.
Yeah. Savannah asks, where I'm living, it seems that most people want digital art. Do you think digital art is taking over? It seems as though people don't appreciate the handmade pieces anymore. That's funny because we just did a podcast about how people don't appreciate digital art and how it's still considered a non-art form and how people should be more open-minded about all art forms. So that is an interesting reverse perspective to think on.
Savannah, I would be careful to not allow yourself to get into a perspective where one thing is better than the other, because you got to remember that things go in waves. So you may go out to one event or a couple events where this is the norm or this is what people want, but there are 8 billion people on the planet. Everybody likes something different.
Yeah,
so
it's true.
I don't think that any art will ever phase out another art. Technology will phase itself out because there will be something better, but really when it comes down to it, you can't create better art.
You just create different art.
You just create different art.
David McCauley said, Firefly the Bug or Firefly the Show? Firefly the Bug. I created a room where you walk in and it looks like you're sitting in a forest and you're watching thousands of fireflies.
So there were the sounds, the lighting of twilight, and then you had fireflies that were moving throughout the room. And we had built a big oak tree that just encompassed the entire room.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing, and actually all the crew would go and sit and chill out in there.
We have a video of that room and my installation on our vlog channel. If you want to see it, there's a full tour of it.
It was an amazing experience, yeah. Hello from Canada. First time on here. I've watched you for years. Rafi, you're an inspiration. You and Clea are totally awesome, and I adore you. Thank you, Matthew.
We adore you, Matthew.
Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Oh, since I'm a hairstylist, artist, I love your braids, Clea.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been, rocking jammy time, but I still have to, make myself pretty for the live stream.
Welcome, Great White North. Do you ever paint on vehicles or T-shirts, or what type of paints do you use?
You've painted on a vehicle tire cover before, which was a challenge, right? Because it was vinyl.
I've painted on a few things. I painted on a golf cart cover.
And we painted our vehicle all crazy like.
Yeah, the Explorer, if you look at old pictures, we had the Ford Explorer. That's what we traveled the country in, and that was painted on. And for that, I used enamel paints because that's what would stand out. Anything that's outdoor, I will use outdoor enamel paints. A lot of people scoff at house paints, but the technology in house paint acrylics has been so forward moving in the last few years that there is absolutely no reason to not buy acrylic house paints. Even the VOCs, the odors and the chemicals.
Yeah, they've done a lot with that.
They've done a lot with that. So that's what I would use. Now the outdoor paints I would still use outside. But yeah, that's what I would use for that. For T-shirts, I usually get screen printing paint to use for that. I don't really paint on too many T-shirts. I did a test not too long ago, and eventually it starts coming off. So I usually just get my shirts printed at a printing press.
You guys are... Oh, I lost it. It's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, you guys are my heroes. You're such an inspiration for me. Apparently, I have thousands of dollars in the bank.
Yes, you do,
yes,
Lena.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you
Every
do.
piece you create is money in the bank.
That's the way I look at it. When I add up the prices to my things, I'm like, holy crap, because you think about it, worst case scenario, you've got product to sell. This is when you look at people and they're talking about what their value is, how much what is that called?
Like their intrinsic value?
No. When somebody's like, that net worth, this person's net worth is blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you're looking at. You add up all that stuff, and that's part of your net worth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for me, I'm a 100,000-aire. I have $100,000 or more worth of paintings, and that is my net worth.
I don't know what an heir. Probably it's a good idea to actually see how much monies you have in storage.
Well, it makes you feel good about yourself because that is money that is there. It just hasn't become tangible yet.
Vicky says, I'm so glad I'm seeing you live. I can never stream at home because my Wi-Fi sucks, but I'm at my co-op studio right now and the Wi-Fi doesn't suck. Well, I am glad you could join us too. Have you ever tried Encaustic?
Have I? No, I have not.
No, but I am obsessed with looking at Encaustic.
It's something that I really want to try, but it's also something that I know that I may need to give myself time to work on. So it's probably next on the list. I have a list.
It's endless.
I have a bucket list of different things. I just bought a small canister for pouring because I wanted to do something fun with pouring. So it's definitely on my list, Encaustics.
Yeah. I really love how they look. They're neat to look at.
50%. Over 50% of my art is digital. Keep doing it. It's growing.
I love the fusion of digital and non-digital.
I do too.
And we do that with our music. So some of our music is live acoustic recorded and about half of it is digitally written by me. And it's awesome. And I love when someone takes a photograph and then alters it in a digital way or takes a digital piece of art and then paints on it. Like, I think that's a beautiful amalgamation of old school and new school.
The way that I see it is it's, a lot of art, the way that it's progressed over the years is because new materials have been introduced, and those new materials have been introduced due to new technologies. The computer and digital art is a new technology. Thus, digital is a new material. Mm-hmm. That's the way that I see it. And I think that it is definitely something that is growing because it is new. Essentially, I mean, think about it. The internet and all this technology that we have is only about 10 to 15 years old.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely new. So, of course, it will definitely grow.
It excites me to be a pioneer and to use the new materials and new technologies to do something and not know what you're doing and be in territory that you've not been in before.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to approach restaurants and coffee shops to put up my art, but kind of fearful of the no, which goes with a question, advice for trying to sell to local shops. Those kind of go hand in hand. Yeah.
Just go in and don't see it as rejection. That's what I tell. That's the way that I try to approach it, because if I see it as a rejection of myself and my art, then immediately it pulls at my self-worth. You're going in there, if they say no, that's their problem. It means that maybe they just don't have room or something is going on with them. It has nothing to do with you or your art. It's trying to switch over that mindset and just getting really comfortable with the word no.
Yeah.
That's what matters. A lot of us avoid doing things because we're afraid of getting the rejection or getting the word no. And to be honest with you, your life will be so much better if you just get comfortable with the idea that somebody might say no to you.
And don't necessarily be ready to show your art right off the bat. Go in, see what kind of art they have or don't have. Ask if it would be okay to maybe bring in a portfolio and see what their response is to that.
Yeah.
Some places aren't looking for art. Some places are. Just get a feel for what they are. I think that's good.
You guys need to get an old warehouse and convert it into a studio downstairs.
Yeah, we do.
Yes.
And live upstairs.
We are definitely looking at things.
We're looking at a warehouse or a farm. We've decided. Those are the two options.
Yeah, we will. Do you think freehand drawing is dying? I don't know too many folks that draw without some copy factor. No, I don't. I don't think it's dying. I think that maybe maybe it's a little bit more difficult for a lot of the younger generation, but I think that everybody does get into freehand drawing, and a lot of people will get into it after the fact. It'll be something that they use to progress their art, and I know a lot of young people that are amazing freehand drawers.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So I really don't think that it is a dying art. I think that with art, things have their peaks, and then they valley, and then they peak again. Because
and it's really a pendulum effect, but I don't think freehand drawing will ever die because it's such an in-the-moment expression.
Freehand drawing will live forever.
Yes.
It is so energizing, yes.
Yeah. How do you store and travel with your art pieces without them getting damaged? I have aluminum cases that my pieces go into, and it's easy for me, but this one has to take measures.
Yeah, I do. I usually have them in plastic bins, so I also am very careful about what size the pieces are that I take out to which shows. So as long as they're not getting dinged or I'm not squeezing them into place, that's how I make sure that they don't get damaged. I also make my artwork very, very, very resilient.
Life proof.
Yeah. So they need to be waterproof, resilient. I try to make them not fragile, and if I do have a piece that is slightly fragile, then that piece gets very protected.
Rob McCullough asks, the first time I approached a gallery, they liked my work but wanted to see 10 pieces in the same theme. I didn't have 10, so they wouldn't talk to me. Is that the norm?
Yeah, it could be. I don't know about the number. Sometimes it's 20, 10, or 5. That's one of the reasons that I say if you work in several different mediums, or not mediums, in several different styles where you have different styles, create a series. And usually when I'm working on a series, I create at least 20 pieces in that series before I present them to anyone, just in case I run into an issue like that.
Ooh, Joe Pearson said a doc is coming out soon called Hand Drawn about the resurgence of it.
Oh, that's cool.
Neat. Thanks for the heads up.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love stuff like that.
Thank you. You guys feel free whenever you run into a documentary or know about a documentary that you might find interesting, feel free to share it with us because we love watching documentaries.
The artist in me said, if the places or businesses say yes to having my art on their walls, how do I make sure someone doesn't walk in and take it off the walls? Do we need a contract of any sort? I always have a contract, and the contract says when it's in your hands as the business, you are responsible for damage or theft.
Yes. I actually have a contract that is on my Patreon page for it's the resources for the patrons, but I may release a contract soon. I'm thinking about doing like an open resource area on my website as well.
Yeah.
But basically it's very simple. All you got to do is just make sure that it says this is how much artwork there is in value. The owner is responsible for that, whether or not it is damaged or stolen, and then they sign it, you sign it, and that's it.
Yeah.
They're held liable for the artwork.
Yeah, and most businesses understand that, but it's good to cover your bases and just make sure. My contract is real basic, plain English, but it just lays out all those things.
Yep. Yeah, I make mine very basic too. There's no difficult language.
There's
to
no
follow
legal
under.
mumbo jumbo about it. Yep. I recommend getting a mirror and drawing a self-portrait with just your own hand and a pencil. You will learn so much.
Yes, you will. Yes,
I remember
you will.
doing that in school, and it was like one of the best things ever. And I kind of want to do that again.
You should.
Actually, that'd be super awesome to do.
We should do that for the challenge video where we challenge each other.
Yeah, the art challenge.
Art challenge.
I'm going to give us a time warning because we are approaching the 8 o'clock mark here. So we could take a couple more questions probably.
Yep.
And then do our outro.
Muggy Webster, love you guys. Clee, you're so funny. Would you make me a jingle?
Oh, send me an email. Send an email through our website. I am considering starting to do jingles for other humans besides us, so I would love to talk to you about what you might want.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll be creating a section on the website for her that has that. Once she's already been contacted by a few people that are asking her how much she would charge to do jingles for them.
So we're getting that stuff in place and together, the Clee Jingle House.
Yeah, because she's phenomenal when it comes to music. You'll watch the video tonight is her on stage singing with her
With my old band.
So you guys will enjoy that.
It's so awesome to have done that. Yeah. Oh, the bourbon is kicking in. It's delicious, but it's
I'm going to have to join your Patreon. Love you guys. Can't get enough. Aw, thank you, Vicky. We love you.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys are amazing. On the spot jingle for the evening.
On the spot jingle. The bourbon is delicious. I don't know. I got no jingles right now.
I would love a jingle as well. Well, if you guys are interested, you could send us an email at the website.
Yeah.
And then when I do create the page, which I will be creating something soon for that, and she's getting all the pricing and stuff down because she wants to make sure that she's fair to everybody and fair to herself as well.
Yeah, jingles are weird animals.
Yeah, and looking it up, there are like prices that are up here, and it's just she's figuring out her own way of doing it. So if you want, send us an email and say, hey, I'm interested in a future jingle, and then we'll contact you as soon as all that information is up.
G. Francis said, what is Patreon?
Patreon is a service that there is for us artists where patrons could subscribe to us monthly, and what they do is there's different tiers, different fees, then there's different perks for each tier. So I have patrons that follow me, and they get extra stuff that's not on YouTube that is just for the patrons that follow me.
And in the case of Rafi and me, it's kind of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun. We have a lot of fun. So we have the collab lab,
the collab
and the ATC
lab
swap,
and the ATC swap
and bloopers and extra videos and things like that. Yeah. Ooh, I would love a bourbon as well. We'll go and get you one.
All right, so we should probably, thanks for hosting the Q&A session.
I found you guys by accident, but I loved your content. I'm catching up on past vids. So happy you're available. You
Oh,
guys are-
I'm so
Thank
happy
you,
that
Mama
you're
Duck.
here.
That
I'm
is really
so
cool.
happy that you're here.
We love you guys too, and we have so much fun with you on the live stream.
We do. We love this. I mean, the hour goes by so quickly that's why we started to institute the
time warning, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Charity said their Patreon is way worth it. Thank you, Charity.
Thank you, Charity.
All right, so what I've got on here is for the upcoming stuff. So the next YouTube live stream will be September 18th at 7 p.m.
Yep.
On Patreon, our Google Hangout for the Let's Get Together tier is July 31st at 7 p.m. The Patreon only live stream will be September 11th. And don't forget that if you don't know about my book, check my book out, The Rogue Artist, on Indiegogo. I'm doing the pre-sales right now.
It's so exciting.
Yeah, you guys, I like I said, I am blown away by how much support I've gotten. And yeah, I wanted to cry about that, but I'm not going to this time.
There's been so many feelings.
And this is our shameless self-promotion. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, website, all those places.
Things.
You could probably
we're on all the things.
You can rewind us and look at that.
Yeah.
Again. And that's all. I have to say this was fun. Thanks, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys, man.
Kid Rockin' Forever said, we are way past July. I think the Hangout one said July. I don't think
July 31st.
Yeah.
The Hangout is July 31st.
We're in August.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops.
We need to correct that date.
I will post on Patreon when
the Google Hangout
is.
That date was wrong. Thank you for catching that.
Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. See, bourbon is working. No, that's just artist brain. Yeah. Traveling artist brain.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. We love you guys.
Yeah.
We're signing off for now.
Thank you guys. I absolutely freaking adore you, and thank you so much for tonight. This is why we love doing the live streams, because you guys are so awesome, and it makes my heart smile.
Yeah.
I sound so cheesy. Makes my heart smile.
You are cheesy, but we love you.
But I absolutely adore you guys. I love you. And say goodbye, Clee.
Good night, everybody.
Adios. And this is where we go through the...
Find the end stream
How do I turn this off?
Yeah. You don't know how to turn it off yet.
Bye, Robin.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, you guys. I have such a hard time saying goodbye.